Back for another part today to Mix a Friend song. Today I'm doing Into the Heart of the Source, a song written by a very good friend of mine, Ashley Christodasson. And we're going to the next step of mixing, which is I'm going to work on EQing and gain staging today. So I've actually moved a lot of things forward, and I've done a lot of EQing and gain staging because it's a fairly long process with a lot of tracks. And so I'm just coming towards the end of the song, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to finish the end of the song. So before I start, I just wanted to tell you about this incredible plugin that I'm going to use to help me to see if I'm going outside of the gain stage that I want to do. So basically my general target is to get the mix of all of my tracks to hit below -6 or to be at -6. That's a suitable that's supposed to be a good level for mastering. So basically what that means is I'm going to turn the levels of everything up and down for all the different tracks. But first off, I'm going to set all the faders as much as possible to 0. And I use a plugin here called EQing loudness meter. Now this is an excellent plugin and I highly recommend getting it. It's a very good metering plugin to tell you how loud your tracks are, and definitely when you want to talk about loudness you need to get a professional metering plugin. This plugin is actually available for free, so it's really great as a free plugin, but when you start to need to do more stuff, the premium features are much better. So I highly recommend just getting the premium version. And on this page, I'll put a link to the site on this page. I've made a little graphic here which you can have a look to see how the interface works, and I use it a lot for helping me to understand whenever levels are too high. So it's called the EQing plugin, loudness plugin. There's another plugin in here at the bottom as well called Tantra. It's an amazing plugin for making some crazy effects to your sound. So I'll drop a link so you can have a look if you want. So let me just explain what I'm going to do with this plugin. I'm going to set in the alert section, so there's you can set a target level that you want everything to be at, and then it will tell you if you cross the threshold of that target level or not. And I'm going to set the true peak value to be -6 dB. So every time it goes above -6 dB, I get a little indicator here that tells me at what time code the plugin has gone over the -6 dB mark. And yeah, so basically what I've done in the track is I've gone ahead and I've EQ'd most of the sounds, creating space for the low sounds and creating space for the high sounds. So any sound that isn't a low frequency material sound, I've cut off the low end for that sound, as you can see here. So just cutting off the low end and creating space for the sounds that really need the space for the low end, like the bass and the kick drum and things like that. So I'm going to continue the mixing process from this point where I've stopped, and I'll show you how I do it as we move forward. Here we go. So
all I know is that first you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it.
now there was this pan drum sequence here that I didn't think it worked very well, so I just decided I'm going to mute that sound. So what's the best way to gain stage? I tend to do it from the region section here. So this is non-destructive gain changes, meaning I can always go back to the original gain that it's at if I just set this to 0. So that's the original gain that it was at. If I want to do destructive editing, meaning make a permanent change into the gain, I could go into my my audio editor and go to functions, change gain, and then increase or decrease the gain here to make a permanent change into the audio file. But I don't recommend doing that for this mixing stage that we're at. Okay, so let's have a listen to this next section and see if we're basically crossing the threshold of -6 dB with the EQing plugin. Here we go. Okay, so straight off the bat, I'm at -5.5. I've already gone above the target. So let's have a look at what can be done. So let's start with this note here. I haven't this sound here. I haven't EQ'd this sound yet. So let's take a listen and let's see how it goes. Okay, so just a fairly straightforward little drum beat, and I'm gonna go into the EQ here, and actually, since there doesn't seem to be any echo or reverb, I'm just going to take them off, keep it cleaner. Okay, and let's just have a listen. So I'm gonna set it in a low pass. So just cutting out a little bit of the subsection so there's more space for the sub bass to go through. And then taking out a little bit of the mids. Okay, so that should be a kind of okay-ish, and I'm hitting -9 dB. So I'm targeting to try to get my levels down to at least -12 to -10 range. So I could probably just go to -9 and I would be within that range safely, I think. Just to take a little bit of the top end off as well. So let's hear how this is sounding with the rest of the drums. Actually, this sub bass should go in here. Okay, so let's hear so I'm just gonna solo this section, set a loop and see if anything is crossing the threshold. So our gain's kind of high. I think when I start to add in the other instruments, I'm probably going to cross -6. Okay, so that sound, okay, let's keep, look for the other sounds that haven't been EQ'd. Just going to jump into my mixer. Okay, so I haven't EQ'd these sounds as well, so let's take a listen to this one first. Gonna turn off the solo for the other tracks. Okay, so just take the EQ and put it up here. And I'm going to change this one to be a low pass. So creating space is all about making compromises, and I started to feel that cleaning up your mix can come from just being really straightforward and choosing that one sound is going to take a specific region of frequency space and another sound is going to avoid taking that space as much as possible. So this sound actually has a lot of bass heavy material, but that sound's going to clash with the bass, the sub bass, and so if I play these two together, they're going to have a lot of conflicting space, especially around that 100 to 200 region. So to give more spatial separation, I'm just going to carve that space for the bass to have more of its own space, right? So same thing here, you can see I've cut out all the space at the bottoms to give more space for that bass. And let's have a look at this dreamy guitar. I don't think I've EQ'd this sound either. Now, it's very easy to just work with the analyzer on, but I think if you always work with the analyzers on, you don't really learn the skill of training your ears. So I like to start with the analyzer off first, and then really just use my ears to hear which part's really essential to keep and which part's essential to which part can be lost. And the thing is, on its own, it may sound alright, but you always have to listen to it in relation to the mix. So one of the easiest ways to do it is to incrementally add tracks on. So these two sounds have a lot of space that they're competing with each other. Luckily, this sound here has a tremolo in it, so it's really panning to the left and the right. So this helps to add some space and some depth to the music. So I'm just trying to look for a little sweet spot where the two sounds can be heard individually on their own. And then I'm going to compare them with the analyzer. So they're both very heavy around the 500 region, 500 to 1K. Okay, so I can see straight off the bat my gains are minus 4.7. So I'm gonna have to reduce the gain of everything, I think. I'll start with these guitars here. Probably bring them down to minus 11. So when it hits the arpeggiator, this thing starts to jump. And if I check my loudness plugin meter, it's going to tell me too at which time code, so I can select an option based on the time code. And then you see that red mark? That red marker tells me at which time code it's gone over the peak. So it says at 6:03. So then the next thing I can check is over here, the time code at 6:03. We're 6:03. And then what is causing the jump in the sound? I believe it should be this sound. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to reduce the gain of this sound. Let's say minus 11. Still jumping high. Is it the arpeggiated synth or something else? Okay, let's see. What happens if I do this? Oh, is it the bass? Maybe it was the bass. So let's just drop the bass down to minus 9 and see if that helps us. Yeah, I see a change in the volume, so I'm gonna just bring it down to minus 10. Could bring this down as well, maybe to minus 11. Just bring that sub bass back up to minus 9. Okay, so something's going over minus 4.3. Let's find out with the EQing plugin what time code that's jumping high. Oh, there's a few spots here. So 6.27. Let's have a look at 6.27. Maybe the crash. Or this new drum sound when it comes in. Let's see, what's the gain of the others? This is at minus 10, minus 6.1. So maybe I'll just drop these two down to minus 9. Let's see how that goes. Still at minus 5.3. Maybe I'll bring it down to minus 10. I've got some improvement. Let's try minus 11. I forgot to unmute these guys. Should check them again. Okay, we had a little jump over there. I think it was the fill that caused the jump. Let's check the time code. .53. Okay, what happened at 6.53? Not much. Probably the toms here, I think. I'm already at minus 5.8. So maybe I'll just allow these to incrementally go down. Quite a soft sound. What's creating that? Maybe it's the snares here. So another place you can help to control the gain is actually just with the velocity of sounds. So let's see if we can can modify these velocities to get a better gain. Put some variation in the strength of the hits. Sometimes you need to play it further back. It's not always reproducing the same accurate results. That doesn't look too bad, so I'll just go further back to make sure. Great. So I think it was that snare fill. It's causing the gain to go too high.
My life has value.
I could probably raise that sound. Let's see. What is he saying?
My life has value.
Go even higher. Let's try.
My life has value.
Bit of a sudden change.
My life has value.
Uh-oh. Having big gain issues here. Okay, so this is... Now, these two sounds, they are competing with each other. This low synth bass and the sub bass. Let's just take a listen to the bass for a second here. So when this sound plays, you can barely hear this sound. So again, we have to make a choice about a compromise. So what I'm gonna do is probably I'll keep this sound and just mute the other one to keep it a bit cleaner. So I'll set this down to minus, let's see, minus 10. How's that? Now I can hear some lower like clicking noise of the background. Let's see, is that? So the clicking gets lost. So I'm going to take it out in totality. Okay, good. And then let's have a listen to the voices.
I imagine and I got high.
Okay, so all of this looks redundant. I'm going to just delete all of these gains here. So let's get rid of it. And we can just gain stage it straight off the bat as it is. Let's check in the mix first. Oh, there's a lot of
I imagine and I got high.
Something funny is going on here. Let's see. I'm going to delete that automation right there. I'm going to delete all of this as well. Set this down to 0. Now the kick is not really coming through in the mix, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to check their velocities. I'm going to just equal all of that, and then let's check how's the velocity of the kick. They've all got more or less the same velocity. I'm going to select all of them, and now they're at 56. I'm going to just raise them up to about 75. Let's see how that's. Much better.
I
Much louder than the mix.
and I got high.
Gonna drop this down to -13. Uh-oh, distorted drums looks pretty loud. Let's check these out. As expected, too loud. have to admit, I'm not a big fan of panning the kick drum, especially to the sides. So because this has a kick drum sound in it, and I'm gonna actually probably just disable the pan, possibly. Well, let's start first by just reducing the gain. Let's go down to -10. This bell's way too loud. Let's EQ this bell first. Still pretty loud in the gain section. So let me see. I think it's in these voices here. Yeah, it's got to be around these voices. Okay, so let's think. Let's bring the voices in one by one rather than going through all of them together. And so what I'll do is I'll mute all these voices like that. Just bring them down, go down all the way. And we'll just go through one section at a time and check if the voices are part of the reason why the gain is going so high. So let's start here. And this voice comes in, looks like it starts to get too high. Oh. Could have even been that bell that was causing the spike in volume. Let's bring the bell down to -10. And let's see, I'll drag all these voices down to -5 and probably these three as well. Let's bring them down to -4. Oh, add a bit of a screen change. Sorry about that. Okay, let's have a listen. Still fairly loud. I think it's maybe it's the distorted drums. Let's mute the drums and see if it happens. Definitely the distorted drums. So I'm just going to copy over that EQ that I had from here and make sure that it sounds like it's same kind of drum. So, so let's just bring this down, bring these down. So I'm going to set the EQ up here. Wrong one. So I'm holding Option, dragging, letting go. And I've just copied the EQ from the pan distorted drums into here. Now I'm going to drop this down to probably -12. Now we've got a big problem here. We have 3 different sounds playing kick drums. So we have 1, 2, 3 sounds playing kick drums. So I think the wisest thing would be to actually separate it all to have just one kick drum sound rather than multiple different kick drum sounds. So let's make some choices here. So maybe I will start with this on and I'll mute this off.
Has value!
Now, if I'm doing that, I think I may need to accentuate this EQ a little bit more than what is currently happening. So let's create a separate track for this EQ, for this. So just going to pull this down here. And what's the automation data that got moved? Let's have a look. Oh. No automation required. So, oh no. EQ2. So let's have a look. Okay, so I think I'll just raise this EQ up a little bit. Give some weight to that kick. And I'm gonna bring the kick back in over here. This kick. So let's decide between these two drums who's going to take the kick drum. Nice, I think I'm just picking up a little bit of the saturation of that kick and I'm creating just a little bit more space between those two sounds. Okay, so let's check in on unmuting the rest of these voices. Let's start with Dave. Okay, so all of that's looking kind of safe on the gate on the meters. Let's check this voice. I'm going to remove that automation. So just a slight increase volume. Let's hear how's it sounding together. I'm just going to create a little bit more space by taking that arpeggiated synth out and then bringing it in later.
I imagine that I got high.
I'll make this actually creep in, so let's fade it in. I'll mute it. This is a sound that definitely, in the mix, it can use some brightness. Just increase the gain of all of these sounds. Let's see. What's making that sound go so high? I think it's the crash. Maybe it's this kick. Maybe I'll just bring this first kick down. Oh yeah. Interesting fade, but I think let's avoid the fade here. And let's just keep it to a very simple beat. I think oh, interesting. Maybe I'll just mute this. Okay, great. There you have it. So EQing and gain staging. I hope you learned something interesting and useful from this class. So just take your time and go through each section, check the level of the gain, check the EQ, take out all the low end that's not required on any sounds that don't require any low end mixing, and I will see you again soon. Subscribe to the channel and have a good day.